So today, I found an article from Kotaku, and we're going to go over it. It's not really an article, it's more like a slideshow talking about every single title that's potentially going to go to the PlayStation and the Switch. Which I thought this article was kind of interesting because a lot of it is speculation and a lot of it is rumors about the games that are potentially going over to these opposing platforms. Now, granted, I will say there was a game. It's called Cuphead. It's like a 2D side scroller, 1930 style. If you guys have not played it, it's really cool. It looks like a classic cartoon. It's a beautiful game. And it originally was going to be just an Xbox exclusive. And they did end up porting it over to the Nintendo Switch. Because, every once in a while, Nintendo does get in bed with one of these big companies, and it just so happens they decided to test it with Microsoft, and it actually ended up working pretty well. I'm not sure how it really impacted the numbers for Cuphead, but I do know that it did increase the sales. So anyways, we're going to get into this article, we're going to check it out, and we're going to see what all games are speculated to leave. And then on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm going to talk about how much I think it's going to impact the Xbox brand. Anyways, you guys, let's get into it. So like I said, it's a slideshow from Kotaku talking about the different games that are potentially heading over to the PS5 and the Nintendo Switch. And of course, recently the game industry has been shaken by the news that could change the dynamic between console giants Xbox and PlayStation. Which, that was another thing that Sony did bring up in the lawsuit against Microsoft for their monopoly because they're buying Activision, was the fact that they were going to, if they wanted to have Call of Duty over there, and mind you, Microsoft was like, yo, we're willing to go to bat, we're willing to play, come on, here's a contract, we'll get, Call of Duty continued to be on your console. And of course, they threw a bitch fit about it. They did not want Microsoft to know what the specs are for their upcoming consoles, because it's all about secrecy and who can get ahead, who can make the next more powerful console. It suggests that Microsoft may be planning to put aside exclusivity and bring its catalog of titles like Halo to rival platforms. Even the PS5, this fan of the rumors, flames were stoked even further by the recent GameStop and that referring to Game Pass as Microsoft Game Pass, which that would be interesting. Excuse me. The internet was aflame. That Xbox head Phil Spencer had to break his silence and reveal a business update event coming on the undisclosed date of the week of February 12th that should debunk or perhaps confirm the rumors. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't confirm it. Either you are excited about the prospects of playing Xbox, more Xbox titles on any platform or you want, or you're laminate at the end of an era of the Team Green, which I am going to be sad if it does end up the Xbox. With so many leaks happening in the past days, it's hard to know which Xbox games could be losing their exclusivity status and ending up on the PlayStation console and or the Nintendo Switch. All right, Hi-Fi Rush. So, Hi-Fi Rush, if you guys didn't know, is first rumored. I think the rumor was leaked like over a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, that Hi-Fi Rush was actually going to go to the Nintendo Switch first. And I think on a scale of 1 to 5, this impacting Xbox as a brand and as a console, it's like a 1.5. This is not really going to rock the boats at all, especially if they end up bringing it over to the Nintendo Switch. I think even if it goes to the PlayStation 5, it's going to be good for the game. It's going to be really good because this was I think this was like a indie studio that, Microsoft took a bet on and it paid off. The next one, Sea of Thieves. So, this is where I'm torn when it comes to games like this. Especially like, an older title. I think Sea of Thieves might actually benefit. You heard me right. Like I said, scale of 1 to 5, I give it a 3. But when it comes to the game's life cycle and the potential of extending it, I think Sea of Thieves would benefit from going cross-platform. Why do you say that, Queso? I say that because if they go to other platforms, whether it be the PS5, whether it be the PS5 and the Nintendo Switch, it's opening the game up for sure to additional players. And like, I know for a fact, I know it's comparing apples to oranges, but when Rocket League went free to play, which is different than going cross platform, it opened up the floodgate. We had that they injected a whole bunch of new players, and it was a lot of fun. I genuinely enjoyed it for those couple months. Now, the thing is if they end up doing this with the PlayStation 5, they're going to have to continue that momentum. And don't let it die down like Epic did with Rocket League. So that's my 2 cents on Sea of Thieves. I think it might actually be good for the game. Might be good for the ecosystem of the game and the player base. And the long run, they have to maintain it. Period. End of story. Now, granted, the one thing I will admit with Sea of Thieves is that they do update the game regularly, add new content for free that you don't have to pay. It definitely runs on the live service style of a game. Moving on to the next one, Starfield. On a scale of 1 to 5, this is a 1.5, just like Hi-Fi Rush. This is not like a massive multiplayer game. It's a solo. It's basically Skyrim in space. I think if they end up releasing Starfield for the PlayStation, it's definitely going to pump the numbers up. It's going to help Microsoft attempt to recoup some losses because I heard this game isn't that good. Yeah, I said it. I heard it wasn't that good. Mind you, this game's only been out for like, 6 months? And I heard people talk about it the first week and then it died. Skyrim's been out for like 10, 12 years. Oh, 13 years actually. And I still hear people talking about it to this day regularly. But Starfield, you fumbled the bag, Bethesda. Next one, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It's another 1.5. Why? It's a solo dolo experience. Like, I feel like a lot of these solo games, like, yeah, you're not driving console sales, that is, when it comes to Xbox, or you're not driving Game Pass sales with these solo experience games. And like, don't get me wrong, I think this has a potential of being a great game. Why? Because you got the intellectual properties of Indiana Jones. But that has yet to be seen. I have no idea. It's supposed to be targeted for the end of 2024. I believe it when I see it. That's all I got to say about the Indiana Jones. Gears of War. This one pains me. Only because the Xbox 360, not only was it the house that Master Chief built, it was also the house that Marcus Phoenix helped build the garage on. Because, like, Gears of War, when I think of Xbox, those, like, Halo, Gears of War, those are the 2 biggest titles I think of when I think of the Xbox, especially the Xbox 360. If the game ends up coming over, I say this is like a 4 teetering on 5 when it comes to like the worry scale. I think it would be a great idea to port over an HD trilogy. Like, allow individuals that have never played the game to experience the amazing story of Gears 1 through 3. We'll leave Judgment out. Now, granted, I did like Judgment. Judgment, if you guys haven't played it, it's the backstory of Baird and the Gold Train, baby! Woo, woo! But when it comes to the original trilogy, it's one of those stories that I highly recommend. And on top of that, it is very, very emotional. And if you guys didn't know, the guy who voices Marcus Phoenix is the same guy that voices Bender, is the same guy that voices Jake the dog from Adventure Time. It's crazy to think that, but it's very true. Um, like I said, it would be great to share the story, but it would not sit right with me going to a store and walking down a video game aisle and seeing Gears of War sitting on the shelf of the PlayStation 5. This is another single player game, Sonora's Saga Hellblade 2. The first one was Sonora's Sacrifice, or Senua. I can't pronounce her name. I played through the start of the first one, and it's creepy. I'm just going to put that out there. But this one doesn't really budge the needle because, like I said, it's another single player experience. It really makes me wonder how many people have played the first one who even know there's a second one coming out. I highly recommend it. Like I said, I played through like an hour of it. It's a very short game. It's only like 5 hours long, the first one is, and I didn't even beat it. It's very creepy. Like I said, it's just one of those ones like I highly recommend checking out. But it's not going to really budge the needle. It's just one of those things, like, Halo. This is a 5. Like I said, I gave Gears of War a 4. This one's definitely a 5. This game right here is the game that built Xbox. That every generation of Xbox, except for the Series X, I have a memory of Halo. Whether it's the original Xbox, the Xbox 360 with Halo 3, the, Xbox One. The Series X really fumbled the bag when it came to Infinite. I feel if Halo ends up going to PlayStation 5, that could potentially be the kiss of death to the Xbox. It's just one of those things. Xbox for sure is the house that Master Chief built. No ifs, ands, or buts. Like I said, scale of 1 to 5, this is number 5. And it would make sense from a business perspective, not from an emotional perspective. From a business perspective, it would make sense. Because if they port Halo Infinite over to the PS5, guess what? It might actually save Halo Infinite. I've heard mixed reviews on the campaign. Now, granted, one of my best friends played it. He loved, and I mean loved, the campaign for Halo Infinite. I played a little bit of the multiplayer. It's an arena shooter. It's a Halo game. It definitely is. But at the end of the day, if Halo jumps to PlayStation 5, yeah. Anyways, at the end of the video, we're going to continue with our speculation. And this last one, Pentiment, I've never even heard of this game. And granted, I love indie games, especially RPG games or games that look like they're hand-drawn, and I have no idea what the hell this game is. So, we're just going to talk about this real quick. And that being said, I was watching an article from What Culture. Well, it's not an article. I watched a YouTube video from What Culture. And one of them, I can't remember, is one of their podcasts. I have to see if I can find it. I'll tag it down in the descriptions. But one of the individuals that was on the panel said that them doing this makes sense. And that this may not be them leaving the market. What this might be is them trying to push people to the consoles. Now, hear me out, because what this man said made sense. And that is, why would you spend $60, $70, $80 on the game when you can buy an Xbox, get the Game Pass, and then, boom, you're paying $10 a month. And you're getting all the games, even the first-party games, the Halos, the Gears of War, all that stuff, on the day they launch, instead of paying $70 and potentially paying more, right? If that's the way they're going, that's genius. But knowing Microsoft, knowing Xbox, it's probably not the way they're going. They're probably going to continue with the Microsoft Game Pass. And what they're going to try to do is push it on every console. So they'll push it to the Nintendo Switch, push it to the PS5. And now people are like, well, the Nintendo Switch isn't that powerful. Cloud computing. Like their whole cloud system that they have set up, I guarantee you, would allow for them to set up the Microsoft Game Pass, and then you basically stream games directly to your console. I'm just going to put this out there. If you're going to do that, play single player games. Play games that you're not PvP in, you're PvE in. PvP, player versus player, not player. You don't want that. You want player versus environment. Player versus environments where you're playing against NPCs and stuff like that. Because we're getting there to, where you can stream games, but it's not going to be the same as if I'm sitting here playing on my PC on Fortnite versus streaming it on my Nintendo Switch. Anyways, guys, that's just my 2 cents. Like I said, do you think What Culture might be right? Do you think they might be wrong? I don't know. Comment down below. Let me know. Don't forget to mash that like button, subscribe, because every little bit does help out this channel. And hey, thank you so much, you guys. Like, genuinely, thank you so much. We're on our way to 8,000 subscribers. It's insane. I can't do it without you guys. Be awesome, stay cool, and I'll catch you later.